So again, my name is Carla Donegan. I'm a program officer at the New Jersey Higher Education Student Assistance Authority. We're oftentimes better known by the by the initials HESA. We are the state agency that administers higher education financial aid here in the state of New Jersey. And really, our outreach team, our big job is to make sure that everyone who lives in the state, regardless of the age, is aware of the financial aid resources available to them to help them pursue their education beyond high school. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of background. And what are the things that make a New Jersey resident eligible for financial aid? Number one is that the New Jersey resident has been a resident for at least 12 consecutive months prior to applying for financial aid. The second qualifier is that they have either a high school diploma or some form of equivalency, so a GED. And number three is that, gosh, I'm having Friday afternoon brain. Number two. Number three is that they are not in default on any student loans. So when I mean in default, I actually mean in default. So somebody who has not been making payments can contact their lender and get back into a repayment plan and no longer be in default. Okay, so those are the three qualifiers. Now there is one qualifier for how they can remain eligible for student aid, and that is that they continue to make satisfactory academic progress in their studies. Now, what is satisfactory academic progress? That is more a definition for the institution itself, not for us, but we're not looking at Dean's List, okay? So I think you're just looking at normal, satisfactory academic progress, okay? So here in New Jersey, for the adult learner, and I'm going to give you kind of my definition of what an adult learner is. An adult learner is anyone who does not take that traditional pathway straight from high school into college. They've had a break for whatever reason, work, life, whatever reason that might be. So for adult learners here in the state of New Jersey, there are currently 3 grant programs available to help them fund their college studies. Now, again, these are grants and scholarships. These are not loans. So none of this money is money that needs to be paid back. So the first grant that I want to talk about is actually the middle grant. It's called the tuition aid grant. Now I remember what the third caveat was for qualifying for financial aid. Number one, you've lived in New Jersey for 12 consecutive months. Number two, you have a high school diploma or a GED. And number three, you go to school in New Jersey. That's number three. Number four is you're not in default on a student loan. So cleared that up. It just came to me. So back to the tuition aid grant. So with the tuition aid grant, this is need-based aid. So it's totally based on a person's economic situation. So depending on the individual and where they choose to go to school in New Jersey, just in tuition aid grant money, they could receive up to $14,000 a year in financial aid through the tuition aid grant. Now, what's beautiful about this is if they qualify for the tuition aid grant and they qualify for other grants, they don't have to pick one or the other. If you have a student who qualifies for 3 or 4 different programs, all of them will be bundled together to provide maximum financial aid. So this is all good news for your adult learners. So we have the tuition aid grant. And if your student qualifies for tuition aid grant, then they are going to qualify for the two programs that are up at top, the two grant programs listed. They're what I call the financial aid pathway to a bachelor's degree here in New Jersey. One is the Community College Opportunity Grant, which funds a student through community college, and one is the Garden State Guarantee. And here, as it says, it's very clear. This is based on an individual's household income only. And if their household income is less than $65,000 a year, they are going to receive tuition and approved fees by the state to continue their academics. And that's the only qualifier, is what is their income. So if they're married, it's a joint income. If they're single, it's their income under 65,000. And I'm going to go into a little more detail about this in a minute. The third program is an awesome opportunity for individuals. Hey, look, college isn't for everyone, right? And this is a great opportunity for individuals who might be interested in pursuing a certification. The Governor's Industry Vocation Scholarship is available to females and minorities who want to pursue a certificate. It can also be used for an associate's degree, but it's really for certification in a construction-related field. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the details of that. So I like to call this the New Jersey Financial Aid Pathway. So in order to maximize a student's financial aid options, this is the pathway they need to take to get their bachelor's degree. And that means they start at community college. And as I said, if they earn under $65,000 in household income, they will qualify to have their tuition and fees paid at community college here in New Jersey. Once they complete that 60 college credits and they have their associate's degree, should they decide to move on towards a bachelor's degree, they transfer their credits from community college to a 4-year public university here in New Jersey, and they're covered under a grant program called the Garden State Guarantee. Same income limits, same deal, $65,000 and under will qualify for tuition and fees covered at 4-year university. So when I say 4-year state or public university, I'm thinking of schools like Rutgers, Montclair State, TCNJ, Thomas Edison, Stockton, Rowan, the public universities. So unfortunately, Seton Hall, St. Peter's, they are not public universities and would not be able, students would not be able to take part in these grant programs if they attended those schools. And don't get hung up in the names of the programs, because if the student qualifies, they'll automatically receive the funding. So just remember the pathway. So as I said, this is the pathway. And for about 90% of your students, there's only one form they need to fill out to qualify for federal financial aid as well as state financial aid. And that is the free application for federal student aid, everybody's favorite application, the FAFSA. Okay, so your students would, most of your students would fill out the FAFSA, and that would potentially qualify them for federal financial aid, which is called the Pell Grant, and it will automatically be used by the state as their qualifier for state financial aid. So that's all they have to do, the FAFSA, that's it. Now, these programs too, let me tell you, these programs are for individuals who are seeking their first degree, and that's their first associate's and or their first bachelor's degree. Okay, so if you have a student for some reason that already has an associate's degree, they can absolutely take part and in the Garden State Guarantee and receive their bachelor's degree, or they can get both. But if they already have a bachelor's degree, they no longer qualify for this program. Now, you note that I said most students will fill out the FAFSA. Here in New Jersey, though, the state passed a law that we do not discriminate based on a citizenship status of our residents. So state residents can potentially qualify for state financial aid. There are eligibility requirements, however, and those are that number one, the individual attended a New Jersey high school for at least 3 years, and that they graduated from a New Jersey high school with a high school diploma, or they received an equivalency here in the state of New Jersey. Now, for these individuals, they will not fill out a FAFSA because they do not have a Social Security number. So they will not qualify for federal financial aid. However, here in New Jersey, we have our own financial aid application for individuals who are not documented, and that is the New Jersey Alternative Financial Aid application. So as Eric said, when you get the PDF of this, all these links are live, and you're going to be able to access and help your student access the New Jersey Alternative Aid application. Now, just a little caveat, because I know a lot of you may be working with adults who recently potentially came to this country. So since they didn't attend a New Jersey high school for 3 years, they won't qualify. But this is always good information because their children very well may qualify. So always keep that in the back of your mind. Now, let's move on. This is one of my favorite programs. In fact, the Governor's Industry Vocation Scholarship is the one program that HESA offers money for that does not have to end in a degree. And the New Jersey Governor's Industry Vocation Scholarship is available to women and minorities to pursue a certification in what's called a construction-related industry. Now, why construction-related, you ask? The only reason I can think of this is because it is funded by the Schools Development Authority, who build our schools here in New Jersey. So that's my rationale behind it. Now, what this program offers is $2,000 per year, up to 2 years, so a total of $4,000 for a student to complete a certification in one of the programs that is listed on this brochure. Now, they would attend a local or a state county technical school or a state county college to complete these programs. Now, the reason I like to say construction related, because when you look at some of the programs, they're really only loosely connected with construction. So especially take a look at cybersecurity, okay? So that can help a lot of students who really don't have any interest in the construction industry, but maybe in IT. If you also notice, there is CAD, which goes in manufacturing and construction. There's graphic design, or I don't know if it's called graphic design or computer. Advertising and graphic design, okay? So there's another avenue for people. There's also technical studies. Again, take a look at these. So these are some really awesome opportunities. And, for some people who are maybe trying to get their foot in the door in a new trade, this is the perfect opportunity to give them some street cred, right? They've got a certification. They at least did some study in this trade. I like to also point out building maintenance. I was listening on the radio today, and they were talking about jobs that will never be taken over by AI, and building maintenance was one of them. So anyway, this is a fabulous opportunity. Not a lot of people know about it, but now you do. So this is how the student accesses this scholarship. Again, number one, they fill out the FAFSA, or they fill out the New Jersey Alternative Aid application. And there is a scholarship application that goes along with this. So this one does require 2 applications, okay? But I'm going to tell you about that, how you get to that one in a minute. Now, something that I probably should have mentioned, I know we have a lot of people here living here in New Jersey who are here on a temporary basis. Temporary status, unfortunately, will not qualify them for financial aid. All right. I think it's called TPS, temporary. Yeah. Unfortunately, they do not qualify for financial aid. As soon as they can get a green card, a visa, something that puts them here on a more permanent basis, they would qualify. Okay, so there's a couple steps for financial aid. And afterwards, I'm going to send Eric not only this presentation, but I'm going to send him a flyer that's called the 5 Steps to Financial Aid. And trust me, if your student follows these 5 steps, they've done absolutely everything they need to do to receive financial aid. So as I said, number 1, they have to be New Jersey residents with a high school diploma going to school in New Jersey. Number 2, they're going to complete the FAFSA or the New Jersey Alternative Aid application. And number 3, they're going to create an account in the New Jersey Financial Aid Management System, what we call NJFAMS. And I'm going to tell you my tale of woe regarding New Jersey FAMS, because back a few years ago when my children went to college, I did not work at HESA. I was the typical high school parent who had completely no idea about financial aid. There didn't seem to be anyone able to explain how it worked. I did know enough to fill out the FAFSA, to have my kids fill out the FAFSA, but beyond that, I was clueless. I was also recently divorced and a stay-at-home mom with no earnings. So here I am with my son and know nothing about the state financial aid programs, know nothing about the New Jersey Financial Aid Management System. So my son goes to the University of Connecticut. And then I found out later, 8 years later, actually, that had I created a New Jersey Financial Aid Management System account for my son, and if my son had had financial aid information sent to New Jersey schools, he would have gone to college tuition free. And instead, he and his brother left me with an $80,000 Parent Plus loan. So, lesson learned, this is an extremely important step for the student. They create their account, and once their financial aid information is completed, they're going to be able to see their eligibility. They're going to be able to see what's been awarded to them. And you know what? This immediately puts them in control of their college tuition instead of where I was, where I had no idea and I'm just taking out loans. So this way they're going to know where they stand.
So, Carla, there's 2 questions that came in the chat. The first is if attending the University of Maryland Global Campus qualifies as a New Jersey Institute of Higher Learning. So these like
Yeah.
online things. And then is there an upper age limit for applying and receiving any of this aid?
No, no age limit. But let me tell you something. It doesn't matter if someone can access an online university here in New Jersey. You can absolutely use New Jersey financial aid for an online degree, but it has to come from a New Jersey school. Okay. But that's what I like to tell adults. Look, online learning does not work for everyone. Doesn't work well for me. I'm a paper person. My kids laugh at me all the time because I'll receive something, an email, and I'll print it out. My kids are like, it's right there. Why are you printing it out? I said, because I read on paper. I don't read. But if you're not like me, and if you're a young adult with kids, you've got a full-time job, you're trying to better yourself, go to school, you can access this financial aid. Go to school online, in the kitchen, after the kids are in bed, in your fuzzy slippers, and get a degree. And you can get your associate's degree online part-time. So they can work full-time and they can get financial aid to go to community college part-time. So this really is an amazing time to be an adult learner. So I heartily recommend that, if you can do the online learning, do it because it's never been more accessible. Oops, I went backwards. My apologies. So here is a web page on HESA's website that I recommend that you keep in your bag of tricks because I love HESA's website. It's very thorough, it's very exhaustive, and you can go round and round in circles. But this one page really is everything you need to know about state financial aid. It gives you the deadlines because deadlines matter. It gives you a link to go to the FAFSA to start their FAFSA application. There's also a link to the New Jersey Dreamers, the alternative aid application. One other piece of gold on this page that you can't see in the picture, but HESA holds monthly FAFSA completion workshops in English and in Spanish. So if you have a student who's having difficulty completing the FAFSA, they can just join in and at one of these webinars, and we go through the FAFSA line by line. And also, if you have a group of students and you'd like to just offer that opportunity to them, you can schedule with me and I can have one of our FAFSA ninjas come down and do a FAFSA workshop at your location in English or Spanish. Okay, so just let me know. Whatever makes it easier for them to get that application completed. Now, for all of you all, this is more for you. Did you know that the state of New Jersey has student loan redemption programs for people who are in 6 high-need career fields? So if you know anybody, just pay attention. The state of New Jersey, this is currently closed, but for primary care providers, and that's not just doctors, it's dentists, nurse practitioners who work in high-need areas, so cities, inner cities, they could qualify for up to $200,000 in student loan redemption. So this isn't pocket change, right? This is a good deal. We also have, this one's also currently closed. Most of these have application windows, by the way, but it's always good to know. We have a nurse faculty loan redemption program that just closed. It offers nurses who have completed advanced degrees, whether it's MSN, DNP, and who teach at New Jersey universities. It offers them up to $50,000 to pay off their advanced degrees. There's John R. Justice, which is for public defenders and public prosecutors, also closed right now, but it offers them loan redemption for working in the public sector as an attorney. There's also a STEM loan redemption program for young professionals who graduated from New Jersey universities and work in STEM fields here in New Jersey. There's $8,000. By far, that one is open, actually. By far, our most popular one, which is not open right now, is the Behavioral Health Care Provider Loan Redemption Program for individuals who provide direct behavioral health care, and they work for a nonprofit or a government entity. They can receive up to $180,000 in loan redemption. And finally, the one that is open right now is the New Jersey Teacher Loan Redemption Program. This is for young teachers who work in high-need areas. So think about ESL, math, special education, world or languages, etc. And they work in high-need areas. So Trenton, Newark, you can check the list on our website, $20,000. So if you know anybody who's in any of those career fields, please have them, send them this link and tell them to keep an eye on it because these usually open at some point every year. So that teacher one is open till June 15th. Now this is more for maybe your employees or your organization or your students, but the state of New Jersey actually has the New Jersey Best 529 College Savings Plan, recently ranked 5th in the nation by Kiplinger. What I love about this state 529 College Savings Plan is there's a couple of little extras involved in it. Number one, there is a matching grant for any family who opens a New Jersey Best account this and makes less than $75,000 a year in household income. The state will match their initial deposit up to $750. So that's not chump change either. Plus, after listening to parents complain about concerns about a 529 college savings plan if Precious doesn't go to college. This can be used to pay for grammar school, high school, private school, trade school. It can be used for a lot of different options. And if Precious goes to France to study art with Pierre, you can transfer that account to another recipient. Any earnings grow federal income tax free, and you can deduct up to $10,000 per year in your state taxes. I think there is a limit on that. You have to earn less than $200,000 a year, but I think we're all safe there.
So Carla, there was a couple of other questions that came in
Sure.
about the info about the online FAFSA workshops. I don't know if you can
Yes.
drop that into the chat or.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I will.
Okay. And then all those offices that you talked about being closed, any sense that they're going to reopen?
Offices being closed.
Yeah.
The loan redemption
Yeah.
programs. As with everything, we are dependent upon the state budget.
Yeah.
So we will know which ones are getting funded, I guess, July 1st, right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Fingers crossed, we'll
Yes.
get to know what's been funded. As I said, the STEM money is available. Actually, I will tell you that the primary care practitioner is, it has been open. And I think they're retooling it. So I don't think it's a matter of budget issue. I just think there was some retooling that needed to be done. But the other ones are all contingent upon what the budget looks like for
Okay.
2026.
All right. There was another question about, is there an upper age limit for loan redemption?
No.
No. All right. Keep
Okay.
plugging away at it.
Yeah. So look, here's the thing. Check the website and look at all the wherefores and whatevers, and because these programs were all created by legislators, and they all have their own vision of what they want these loan redemption programs to look like. So some may have some restrictions, some may have other restrictions. You've just got to look at the individual program and judge it on that criteria only. So the last thing I wanted to say about the NJ Best is that this is a cool option. So simply by having a New Jersey Best account, if your child ends up going to college in New Jersey, depending on how much is in the account, how long the account's been open, the recipient qualifies for an additional scholarship over and above the amount that's in their account. Okay, just for going to a New Jersey college. Now, if Precious goes out of state, that money in the 529, you can still use it, but this scholarship will not be available to them. Okay. Finally, New Jersey, HESA does have New Jersey class loans to help fund the gaps in education. Enough I've said about that. And finally, here's my contact information. My colleague Angela, who is bilingual, and these are my FAFSA ninjas, Tyra and Jessica. And, as Michelle said, we are really here to help you help your students. And don't ever feel like you're asking a favor. because this is what we get paid to do. Um, and we're here to come to your work site. We're here to provide technical assistance. As Michelle said, you don't have to worry about shading me from your students. If your students have a question and you don't know the answer, write an introductory email and I'll talk to them. It really, we do want to be student friendly. So let me take this off the screen so that I can get that link into the
Okay. While you're doing that, Rishlene has a dream, which is any retroactivity with loan redemption. So if you've repaid your loan, can you still apply to things?
no, only if you have outstanding.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That ship has sailed. That ship has sailed.
Yeah. Another thing I do want to bring up, and it's got nothing to do with the state, but one of the things that our team has been doing is working with the organizations that we serve and providing information about the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. Because for many of you, if you work for any form of governmental entity or nonprofit, you may qualify to have your student loans forgiven. So we have done numerous PSLF presentations because we know there's a lot of questions. I'm sorry, I live on the main drag and I got to work from home today. So, um, but we provide many presentations because we understand that people are a little confused. There's been some changes. The SAVE program right now is on hold, and but if you're interested in having like a staff training so that they can get their questions answered about the PSLF and you work for a nonprofit or a government entity, let me know. We're more than happy to help you with that. Okay, let me find my
Any other questions? Well, she's looking for the FAFSA link. So I'm
oops.
going to drop the PD link in for those of you that need that certificate.
Okay, and I'm going to drop the link in right now. Where's the chat? Okay, so this is the link to join the FAFSA workshops. So if you or your students click on that, you're going to see the dates available. They don't have to register. There will be a link for each and every one that they just join.
And Carla, Maria said she wants more info and she put her email address in the chat. I don't know whether you can copy it there or you want her to send you an email directly.
Oh, we must have a big fire here in my little town. Sorry about that. All right, Maria, I got your email address and I'll follow up with you.
All right, thank you.
But everybody else, Eric is going to get the PDF. It has my contact information, so you'll all have my contact information to go by. I'm going to throw in some program flyers and that 5 steps to financial aid. I'm also going to send, you know what else I'm also going to add? People get confused about completing the FAFSA. There's a couple steps that are involved with creating a FAFSA account. So I'm going to send you a flyer on how to do that as well.
Okay,
Okay.
that sounds good. All right. So if there's no other questions, I think we can go on with the rest of our Fridays and Carla can avoid whatever's happening in her town that we can't see. So Carla, thanks for this information. Everybody, thanks for your questions. Thanks for coming to a variety of sessions today. Oh, I can't even hear that either, Suzanne. So there's like you're you're good audio wise. All right. So those of you who are interested tomorrow for the adult learner writing contest and writing yourself, I'll see you then. And if not, thanks for coming to the conference this year. And then we'll see you next year. But hopefully we're also going to have a series of individual workshops on various topics across the year. And if you're interested in hosting a workshop, facilitating a workshop, you can also send me an email. All right. Thank you, Carla. Thank everybody.
Thank you. Have a
good
great
rest of your
weekend,
day,
all.
everybody.
Elizabeth has a quick question. I don't know.
Oh,
if
okay.
She wants to unmute. Sorry, Elizabeth. I saw your chat.
Oh,
Your
I don't want to be rude. So I have a 17-year-old student. He plays soccer really well. Are there any sports scholarships or anything like that that could help him?
You know what, Elizabeth? Email me because not so much sports, but there are merit scholarships available here in the state of New Jersey for the traditional high school students. In addition to what I discussed, which they qualify for as well. There's also some merit scholarships, so I'm more than happy to talk to you about those.
Okay, I wrote down, I've got your email address down here and
Okay.
everything. Okay, all right, that's all. Thank you.
All right.
Sure.
Thanks for the question. Thanks for the answer, Carla. Any other late breaking questions? Going once?
Okay,
Twice?
hi, I have one.
Okay.
Okay, I was trying to type it, but I don't type that fast today. So my question is, I want to keep abreast of this as I get different students who either for themselves or their children might have questions. I feel this was great and it was nice to get an overview of what's being offered, but in order to really be able to share, there are different things, and it sounds like changes come along the way. So is there a newsletter aside from the website itself? Are there updates? Is there a way to get more plugged in?
Rebecca,
Without-
you know what I usually do, is annually do a workshop. So, things in our world change every year with the state budget. So I get a lot of, repeat customers in July who want to know, okay, so what's what's the deal this year? And I do try to keep people abreast personally. There's we do, I mean, HESA does have Facebook and all those social media. You can check our website. But if you have any questions, you got the main source here. No, I mean,
Okay,
but
thank
you
you.
can always just contact me.
Thank you.
But I'm always willing to make a standing date.
Thanks.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for the question, Rebecca. Going once? Going twice? Sold to 325. All right.
Thanks
Stay
all.
safe, everybody.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you all. Thank you, Carla.